Welcome to my series of videos on why we get stuck. Okay, so in each short video, I just talk a little bit about one of the reasons why you might have gotten stuck in a career or business. You can find the entire series in this playlist on YouTube, or you can find it on my website at repurposeyourpurpose.com. All right, so why do we get stuck? Today I want to talk about the ups and downs of life, the ups and downs of life. Okay, so I think we still expect, and we're definitely taught to expect life moving in a linear, way. So with certain, at certain ages, like, okay, you meet the person of your dreams in your 20s, and then, you get together and you get married and have kids in your 30s, and then by your 40s, you make a lot more money, and then in your 60s, all these kind of things. Obviously, this stuff doesn't happen for everybody, and not everybody wants it. But we still have, even when we don't want it, we still tend to have sort of imagine for ourselves that except for bumps in the roads, we're all gonna move up and up, or progress with life, at least up until like a certain advanced stage. Well, the reality is that we're gonna have ups and downs, and some of the downs are not gonna be just little bumps in the road. Okay, let's be real. Sometimes things are gonna happen that will change our life dramatically, or that require us to deal with whatever happened, for some time, for months, for even years. So what can get us stuck is not only the practical side of that, but also the mindset. And this is what I really want to talk about, is the inner work, the mindset. But first, let me say something about the practical side. So the practical side means, let's say you, and again, no, but let's say you have an illness, something really serious, and that might make you unable to work for a long time. It might change where you live. It might change even what you do later. In the United States, it can cause a lot of medical debt. So something like this is life changing, right? And and so there's some practical stuff you have to do. Now, the stuckness comes when we live from a place of that shouldn't happen. What is normal is never to get sick. What is normal is never to have that. What is normal is always to be able to pick myself up right away and go. What is normal is, fill the dots, all right? As long as we keep seeing the downs of life, the things that hit us that are fairly big, as what was not meant to happen, we can get very, very stuck, because essentially we resist what is, we don't accept what is, and that closes us off to our own ideas and insights on how to take care of ourselves, right? How to deal with the issue on a practical level, how to take action, or how to rest, or whatever it is that we need to do at a practical level, and then we can do. But you might say, okay, but what if there's nothing you can do? What if it's something that changes your life, and it changes it forever? Like, you lose a really important person in your life. It's true that after a while you can work through the grief, you can, but that's, you don't quote unquote solve that, right? Yeah, I got it. So the same applies to that getting stuck, in the sense of what I started to tell my clients is, you need a philosophy for the bad times. A lot of people have only a philosophy for things that get solved, or for the good times. Or they have a philosophy for the bad times, and that is like it's all your fault. It's all, the world is bad, and everything will, it's you know I know people like this where something bad happens, it's like, well, of course, because all human beings, are horrible people, and it's very rare to find a good human being. This is not the philosophy I encourage you to have for the bad times. Right? What I mean a philosophy for the bad times is that open yourself up to whether it's spiritual teachings or philosophical teachings or whatever you want to call it, that give you some perspective and peace around the bad times. I don't know what that is, for you. um I don't know what that is for you. There are different ones, and there's not one teaching that has quote unquote solved it, because it's not solvable. There are some things that are gonna cause pain, and they're gonna get us down, and that's it. I mean, it's just bad stuff, right? So whatever it is for you that helps you accept what is, but not getting stuck in it even more, losing hope, losing perspective, getting sucked in, that's what's going to open up space, okay, for getting unstuck and not being caught up in the ups and downs of life in a way that inside gets you stuck. So some of the things that I personally have found helpful, but again, this is not exhaustive. You really want to look for yourself and really engage with this deeply in whatever tradition you're in or whatever inspires you. One of the things is really seeing how a lot of things are very impersonal. In other words, there are a lot of cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect, and we're caught up. It's sort of like the wheel of karma. We're caught up, but it's not like we're caught up because you did something bad the previous life and now you're being punished. I don't believe that. It's more like we're all dealing with things in the present that often come from so many things before you can't even unravel the whole. So once I started seeing that, I think I could find a lot of peace, because I felt it was less done to me, even if I was caught up in it. But there was more of a sense of like, yes, we're all sharing this experience being human, and there's a mystery as to why we're in a place and time that we are, right? So I found that a lot of peace in that. I also find this is not a belief. I had an experience for myself that there is something bigger than me and that I can trust it. And I don't know why certain things happen, but I can just trust it's beyond this life or it's beyond this experience. So that helped me. And the other thing is that I feel, and again, this is not something I got to intellectually, okay? So you have to engage with different teachings and see what draws you, what makes sense to you, or the experience you have from inside out, deep level of wisdom. But for me, another thing that came up is that I really felt whatever is given to me is a lesson for me to learn. And so if I can go deeper and deeper, and it doesn't mean that outside is gonna get better, but inside something profound might open up for me for spiritual growth. Okay. But this doesn't mean that I want bad things to happen or that I should feel good when bad things happen. For me, that's something that gave me a lot of grounding in life. So these are sort of the things that come up for me, but remember, we get stuck because some of it is just normal. That is, at some point in your life, you might have stuff happening that's really tough, and that it will only feel like you're stuck if you have this idea that you're supposed to constantly move in the direction, everything has to get better, everything like this. Well, not really. It's normal to have ups and downs, including some times where things slow down, where you have to deal with a lot of stuff and all that. Okay, so just understanding that can help relieve a little bit of the extra heavy feelings you might have on the downs of life. But then also help you get in action, just get in action, deal with the practical stuff, and get unstuck. And then my invitation again on this opening up wisdom is to really have a philosophy for the bad times. Don't just have a philosophy for the good times, have a philosophy for the bad times. All right. Keep an eye on YouTube or my newsletter or both to know when the next video comes out in the series. And remember, you find the whole series on Why We Get Stuck at repurposeyourpurpose.com. See you next time.